Hello friends, welcome to the session. In this lecture, we will discuss feminism. Friends, feminism is a branch of political science, or we can say is the experiment or the invention of political science which advocates the right of women. And it also advocates for the eradication of, we can say, the differentiation or the less motivation of the women based on their sex, based on their social identity, that is the women, whether it's the social justice or the culture, economy, political discourse, they all have found their way in such a way that we can say our society is more patriarchal in nature. Whatever we have done, whatever we have built, in whatever the way we have moved forward, we can observe that our society is more men-oriented society. Many of the policies of the government in the olden time, we can say, as of now, the time is changing and the things have changed a lot over a period of time. But still, there is a lot of debate is going on. So, feminism is both an intellectual commitment and a political movement that seeks justice for women and the end of sexism in all forms. Friends, it is very important for you to understand that we are talking here about the social identity, which is based upon the sex, that is the female. You have to understand that the gender and the sex, they both are different things. Sex is something by which we identify in biological terms, but gender is something by which we identify in social terms. The responsibilities are bestowed to the men and women differently, but in biological terms they are not same. Okay, so these are motivated by the quest for social justice. The feminist thinkers, the feminist, we can say, movement, the people who are involved in this movement, they quest for the social justice. Things should be seen in a feminine way and provides a wide range of perspective on social, cultural, economic and political phenomena. It is also important for you to understand that some of the thinkers or some of the social or political thinkers have said anything which is violating the normal path, or we can say any branch of thinkers which have provided a violation to the normal path, we also term those as feminist. Okay, sometimes it is not about the points or the ideas of women which has to be pointed out. Sometimes anything that is in violation, or we can say in contrast with the normal course of discussion or thinking, it is sometimes referred as the feminist way. So as I was telling you, the difference between the gender and the sex. Sex refers to a set of biological attributes and gender refers to the socially constructed roles, okay, behaviors, expressions and identities of girls, women, boy, men and gender. There are some sociological rituals or some sociological works or some we can say some things in the society which are totally differentiated, that these will be performed by the men and these will be performed by the women. In those terms, we do not say these will be performed by the male and this will be performed by the female. That is their biological identity. Okay, so there is a considerable diversity in how individuals and groups understand, experience and express gender through the roles they take on. The role of an individual in the society, we can term that role as the gender. It is very important for you to understand. This question can be asked you in any example or interview or in some discussion. Okay, so it is very important for you to understand. Now, beliefs and movement, as I was telling you, the term feminism has many different uses and its meaning are often contested. For example, some writers use the term feminism to refer to a historically specific political movement in the US and Europe. Those movements were differentiating, they were providing the ideas of injustice against the woman, or we can say injustice to any depressed class of the society. Okay, any depressed class of the society, class of people which was depressed. So if a writer, if a thinker is pointing out that particular thing, sometimes we also refer it as the feminist writer or a feminist thinker. So how it is important in political science? You must have listened that debate in the Parliament of India or in the legislation of various states or all around the world, whether the US Senate or the any country in England, Russia, China. There has been a lot of debate that women are not provided the equal opportunities are not provided to women in our society. Sometimes the question of patriarchal bargain also arises, that sometimes in order to gain the recognition, in order to gain the benefits on the society, sometimes the women themselves accept the patriarchy. Okay, I'm giving you here an example. Like we in Indian society, sometimes the men are considered as the earner and the women are considered as the trustee of that income the men earn. The key of the lock, the key of the safe is handed over to the women, that yes, I am earning, but you are the we can say trustee of this income. And then the women, in order to gain the benefit or in order to gain the recognition in their family or in their society, accept this position. They very well know this is not my money, I have not earned this money, and my husband or my brother or my son, anytime he may ask for that money, I am only the custodian of that money. Okay, but in order to gain that recognition, she accept that offer. Yes, I will work as the custodian of your money. So this is called the patriarchal bargain, and it is a very big problem of our society. In that way, that women who can perform well, who would have been also been able to earn the same amount of money, but as our society is patriarchal in nature, sometimes she forgive, or we can say she give up that way of thinking or way of working, and she accept that custodian situation. Okay, so the term feminism is a historical history in English linked with women's activism from the late 19th century to the present. There have been a lot of movement in the Europe and US, where initially the women were not provided the right of recording their votes. They were not provided the seats in the legislations. They were not able to contest the election. In India, we can say India have moved ahead, far more move ahead than the Western countries. India has provided through the 73rd and 74th Amendment. It has reserved the seats for the women in the village legislature, or we can say the third level of our democratic system. So this is feminist way of looking the things, that India have looked the whole scenario through a feminist way, and then it had pointed out that yes, until and unless we not provide a reservation to the women, they will not be able to represent themselves. Okay, some instances have also been occurred where you can see actually that is the husband or the brother or some male related to that female who is actually holding the power position. She is just the puppet. So okay, so this is also a big problem. So it should also have a solution, and those solution provided by the thinker, they're called the feminist thinkers, and the solution which is provided, we can say that it is a feminist solution of the things. Okay, so in mid 1800s, the term feminism was used to refer to the qualities of females, and it was not until after the first International Women Conference in Paris 1892. It should be highlighted here, and you should learn this. You should have note down this point, that first women conference occurred in 1892 in Paris. Feministe, there's a French term. Feministe was used regularly in English for a belief in advocacy of equal rights for women based on the idea of equality of the sexes. Both of the sexes have been made by the Almighty. Therefore, there should not be any discrimination based upon their biological identity, and they should be provided equal opportunity, and social justice should prevail in terms of both the genders. Okay. Although the term feminism in English is rooted in the mobilization for women suffrage in Europe, as I was telling you, the suffrage of giving the votes. Women's suffrage in Europe and United States during the late 19th century and early 20th century. Normative and descriptive components. There are two components of feminism. In many of its forms, feminist seems to involve at least two groups. One is the normative and other one is the descriptive. Now, what does the normative claim say? This says that women ought to be viewed and treated and draw on a background conception of justice or broad moral position. They say that you should not look at women the way, okay, they are depressed, they are weak. We should provide them some comfort, or we should provide them reservation so that they can see. It should be inbuilt in the policy making. It should be inbuilt in the idea of thinking that they have the equal position in the society. Okay, you should not view them as, okay, we are accepting that you are weak, now we are providing you the reservation. No, this is not the way of thinking. Because they are existing in this world, therefore the building of this world, or the making of the future of the humankind, should be seen in a feministic way. Okay. Now, what the descriptive claim says, they say they are concerned how women are, as a matter of fact, viewed, treated, alleging that they are not being treated in accordance with the standard of justice. They say that whatever have been happened, whether it has been happened in the way so that the social justice have been prevailed. The normative claim says that whatever you are doing, if you are doing in a feministic way, there is no weakness into doing that. This is the responsibility of whole of the society or the mankind. Descriptive claim says that they are concerned with, as a matter of fact, that whatever had happened or whatever is happening, it should be viewed, they should be viewed, treated, and they should not be treated in according with the standard of justice, whether they are treated or not. So it is very important idea for you to understand also. Now, the important questions which raised from this presentation. Representation of women issues through a male perspective has been a challenge to the movement of feminism. Friends, this is a very important question. Yes, there are feminist thinkers, but a very big portion of those thinkers is male. This is the very big problem. These are the males actually which are leading this movement of feminism. And because a male advocate the rights of women, it itself prevails that they are weak enough that they even cannot raise their issues also. Okay, so it has remained a very big problem for the movement of the feminism that the representation of women issues has been made by large through a male perspective. Second question. Feminism sometimes, in order to advocate for the equal right and opportunities for women, undermine the naturally given specialities of women. Now, this is also a very complex question. We are here trying to say that, yes, a feminist view is very important in everything. If you are building something, if you are making a machine, or if you are making some instrument, you should build it in the way that both the genders can use it in equally. Okay. But if we try to build everything equally, okay, you build a machine, yes, there is no restriction. Males can use it, females can use it, men can use it, women can use it. But that equality may somehow diminish or erase the naturally given specialties to the women. You cannot say the men and women are equal. They are equal within themselves. This is the point we are trying to make here. Okay. If you say that men and women are equal, there will not be the diversity of ideas. There will not be the diversity of perspectives. Men and women have their own identities. They both have the right to see the things differently in their own way. But it is the responsibility of the men that whatever is the women's perspective, that should be treated equally well to the perspective of the men. Okay. So this is, I can say, I'm trying to make a point here is that feminism is a very important movement and it has had many successes in the past. But now the time has come in order to move forward, in order to build a more balanced world. It is very important for us to understand, yes, there are some naturally given specialties to both the men and the women, and we should not undermine anyone. Okay. So friends, this is all for the lecture. Thank you very much.